Hey, folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today, we're going to take a look at a song by The Doors, actually performed by The Doors. The Doors that are remaining today, which include John Densmore on drums and Robbie Krieger on guitar. And I happen to know they also snuck in some vocals from Jim. So they're doing Riders on the Storm. This is actually part of the Playing for Change project, Song Around the World. That means that they contact other musicians around the world from different locales, sometimes playing what we would consider exotic instruments or instrumentation or vocalizations and things like that. And they mix it all together and you get a nice video out of it. And we've seen a lot of these. I think they really blossomed during the COVID era, because it was the only way people could get together. Well, now they're like, well, this is a great way to just collaborate with people without incurring all this travel expense. And so we thought we'd like to check this out. Just the fact that those two guys are still around, still playing music, I think is fantastic. All our heroes are getting older, from that era. So I figure celebrate them while we can.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are your thoughts? Well, you know the song, of course, Adrian, but what do you think of this song?
I don't know. It's got that kind of groove, It's like you can really chill out to it. Maybe listen to some thunder with your music or something.
It strikes me as a great driving song. Another one of those.
Oh, yeah. It would be, yeah.
All right. Well, let's watch these guys. Yeah, Robbie Krieger is 80 years old. I think he's the young one. And John Densmore is 81. All right. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and watch this clip.
All righty.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown, like a dog without a bone and a captor out alone. Riders on the storm, there's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday, let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road, yeah.
this world with tone. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan, riders on the storm.
Riders on the storm.
Interesting. All right. Well, do you have any thoughts up front, Adrian?
A beautifully done tribute to Jim Morrison and Ray Manzarek.
Yeah, but it also seems to have its life of its own. This song seems to be alive to me. It seems like it's still kind of a relevant thing. I know that it was not necessarily, I mean, he's talking about like a killer on the road, you know, and things like that, but there's just something about the mysticism of the song that is still alive and well from the time when it was first conceived. And I figured that at least one of those two guys, Densmore or Krieger, was involved directly in the production of this because it sounded so true to the Doors aesthetic, you know, the way that they used to make music together and everything. You know, certain open-mindedness to getting all kinds of things in there. It's funny, they got so many things, so many different sounds in there from all over the world, but they didn't overwhelm the track for the most part. I mean, they did a little more than they would normally do, like if it were just a brand new release or something. They definitely were using more than they would, but it was mostly under control. It wasn't overwhelming to the ears. They would introduce things, take them out, you know, other things, and kind of work that way.
Yeah, it was pretty cool that they, people playing remotely from all around the world.
Yeah.
You know, they did a great job on this song, and yeah, they brought a lot of extra stuff into it.
All the Native American stuff in there. Jim Morrison was fascinated with that, you know, Native Americanism, and also with the desert in general. You know, like right outside of L.A., you get out there, or I don't know, Palm Springs or beyond. I don't know Southern California that well, but I know that there are deserts right out there. You got that sense. You had the experimentation that the original Doors had, like they would have certainly had their minds open to using some of those sounds within their recordings. It didn't seem like a stretch at all. You know, it seemed like everything fit very well. I liked a lot of the things that were stuck in there. I liked the drum circle that was just the one unison drum beat on the ones. Boom.
Yep.
You know, the different vocalizations in there were interesting. I think my least favorite was the Morocco one. That was okay, but that one was like, well, okay, all right. You know, you got to try it. You got to try things to get really amazing results with other things. You're like, oh, that worked. You know, that worked. Because I'd say that most things that I saw in there worked very, very well, and that it was a really Herculean thing to put that together.
Yeah, just all the different instruments in that again.
So you know how this was put together was they would have gotten some kind of bedrock track that probably had the two guys on it. That's my guess. And, you know, the originals and some other things. I mean, Don was probably in there. He's been around forever. Producer, bass player. Worked with Bob Weir, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
Yeah, he was one of the Wolf brothers. So,
Okay.
you know, they had that solid bedrock to start with, and then they laid things on top of it and filmed themselves doing it and got good audio recordings on the spot there. And then those came in, and then you had to sort out what was going to work for the song and where you could slot things in and say, well, what could work here, and you know, to keep the feel right. And I feel like they did an excellent job of keeping the feel right with all of that data to sort through, because all of those people we saw performing, guaranteed they put in 8 minutes worth of footage and recording, and then it was up to the producers to figure out how to put it together. And then after that, you got to have the notes together. You got to be able to make sure that when the video editor gets to it, that they're putting the right musicians up on screen at the time that they're showing up in the audio mix. So that's how you do that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a job. It can, you know.
yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. I've done similar things, similar projects. Yeah, it's fun, but yeah, it can take a little time, but it's very rewarding if you get it right. And this, I feel like they certainly got it right. And it's so good to see them playing.
I guess the only other thing I was wondering about was what the brand was of that electric piano, because I
Fender
was
Rhodes.
really trying to what?
It's a Fender Rhodes.
Fender Rhodes. Okay, yeah, because I was trying to read the logo that was on the piano. It didn't look like it said Wurlitzer.
Yeah, do you remember we recently saw Sadistic Mika Band? And
Yeah.
and that guy, that amazing keyboard player, he had a Fender Rhodes. And then on top of that, he had the Hohner clavinet and he had the ARP string ensemble. Well, if you recall at the time, I said, well, I wonder how he's keeping those up there and not like pushing him off every time he goes for the top keyboards, because the top is not perfectly level. It's got a roundness
I
to it,
remember.
just like this one did. Yeah, they were very popular right there with the Wurlitzers. They were kind of neck and neck for a while.
Yeah, they're very similar sound. So,
Yeah, they are pretty close. Slightly different, but very, very similar. It was nice to see that keyboard too. It's like the right one. Yeah, that's what Ray Manzarek played. Yeah, so I'm wondering if Ray Manzarek was actually in that mix. It's possible that he was, since Jim was in there, but I just don't know.
yeah, it is very possible. I mean, the guy who was playing the Fender Rhodes was, he definitely had the notes down and everything. You know, he was doing a very faithful rendition of, Ray's playing.
Right. And I can really appreciate that everybody recorded their parts outside. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. That Fender Rhodes was on top of a mountain or something like that.
Yeah, nice. I love when they do that. And that makes sense too, because they were pretty connected to the outdoors, I think. The doors were. So amazing stuff. All right, well, I'm glad we looked at that. That was really rewarding. I enjoyed that. And I hope they keep working on projects long as they can.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, folks, why don't you let us know what you thought of this? And if you're a Doors fan, or if you're not a Doors fan, how does that factor in? But if you were a Doors fan, or you have been for a while, let us know how this stacked up. Obviously, it's not going to be the original, but I mean, how'd they do, considering we are 55 years out, or 54?
Yeah, something like that.
It is. It actually is about 55 years out from when they first did this. So, but give your thoughts. Let us know, just in general, any details you think we missed. If you've got other suggestions for us, please leave those below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed the presentation, please subscribe. Of course, let us know if you ever saw The Doors. We'd really like to hear about that. Okay? All right. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, folks.
See you all later.